Welcome to this edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton. I'm your host, Dr. Marshall Kamina. Joining me is today's Mayor, Jack Ball, from the city of Pleasanton. Actually, you're more than just for today.
Yeah, a little bit longer. Yeah, welcome. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
We always look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
And your mayor's choices are usually exciting.
Yeah.
What have you got for us today?
Yeah, so very exciting. Only three things, but I'd like to hit on them for Mayor's Choice. The first is that we, as well as our nation, celebrated the 249th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence recently. It's a special nuance or point of welcome for me as mayor, because for Pleasanton, we hosted our first community concert in our newly redesigned Lions Wayside Park. I'll talk about that in a minute, a little later in the program. And then in addition, it really starts to kick off the nation's 250th next year. And as mayor in July 4th of 2026, that's a very special time. I think it's going to be very exciting. So I'm just really honored to be the mayor at the nation's 250th. It's just a personal thing. So that's part one for my mayor's choice. Part two is our Tri-Valley residents know we've had a successful fair, and the fair is concluded in Pleasanton, and we didn't have horse racing, so I thought we were going to have a bit of a wah-wah, and in terms, we ended up actually doing pretty good. I think we have a little bit of growing pains or learning that we can do from what they did, but they had tractor pulls, they had a monster truck, they had a rodeo at the fairgrounds in the racetrack area with the grandstand. And so I really think it can show that we can evolve that entertainment option and that people still want the venue. So that was really awesome to see that we had a successful fair conclusion. And then the third is one near and dear to my heart, and I want to make sure I get it right, is that for your viewers, Ava Community Energy, which is our energy community choice aggregate for the Tri-Valley, Livermore, Dublin, and Pleasanton are all members. They are kicking off an e-bike rebate program where you can acquire a bike at your local bike store and get a rebate. Now there's some rules, so please go read the rules first before you do it. But you think a rebate may be a little bit of money, but in reality, a standard electric bike can get a $400 rebate. A cargo bike can get a $900 rebate. And if you're income qualified, you can get up to a $1,500 rebate, which is, in my opinion, sizable money. So I'm really excited to be promoting this program. There's lots of bike stores in both Livermore, Pleasanton, and Dublin that are participants in this. Certain bikes apply or not, but Ava Community Energy kicking off their e-bike program. The reason I also bring it up for Mayor's Choice is I've had the honor to be the chairperson of that group for that JPA for about a year and a half now, and I'll be concluding that time as chairperson, passing on the baton. But it's just a great idea to reality program that they've brought. So I just wanted to highlight that as Mayor's Choice, so when your viewers see it, hopefully they're thinking about a bike. I know bikes are maybe a little bit for the younger, but e-bikes can be for everyone.
Not necessarily so.
Right? Anyone of any age, right? So.
Has the battery science got well enough so you can get a good trip out of them?
I think so. On some of these e-bikes, and I just acquired one myself, although I'm precluded from the rebate being on the board, but some of this battery technology is very impressive, where your range can be 50, 70, 100 plus miles. So, that's an easy trip up and down Ironwood Trail all the way up to Concord if you wanted.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you won't mind me making some remarks with regard to one of my very favorite places, the Wayside Park. We've all been waiting for it to get to this point. It's been quite exciting. I hope you'll share with us some of the things that you've observed.
Yeah, so as I mentioned in Mayor's Choice, Lions Wayside Park, which is right next to DeLucchi Park in Pleasanton on First Street, has basically come alive again. We've had a major reinvestment in the park. And they've been central to Pleasanton for over 50 years. These are some of our original parks, really close to our main street downtown. As you know, we have Concert in the Park series kicking off actually on July 11th, so you can come any Friday, set out your blanket. But we've got basically a new bandstand, a new dance floor, accessible paths, enhanced lighting. The seating areas are amazing. There's picnic and gathering spots. We've got a new path through the DeLucchi Park to the restroom core. And then we've really tried to preserve a little bit of the old. So the Chan Henderson bandstand area is kind of reinvigorated. It's re-shored up. It needed a little bit of work, but repurposed to keep the legacy of what the park intent was. The orientation of the park, I know TV 30 was there for the opening day and celebration. The other thing I'll just point out is that people ask about the budget. All this money, $1.9 million was spent, came through developer impact fees for park fees. So when a new project comes to town, the developer will pay into a fund. So $1.9 million from the park fees collected. So it did not come from our taxpayers today through the general fund. And that's really important. So as I said, we kicked it off. Pleasanton Community Band played the Star Spangled Banner as well as some other things at the very first event on 4th of July 2025. And then on July 11th, our Downtown Association is programming concerts in the park to kick off the series basically through August. So come on down, see the newly renovated park. I'm really excited about it. I really hope it invigorates our downtown and really does and achieves what we want.
It's not uncommon for me to go get a Frosty and watch the progress of the park. And I knew Chan Henderson. I am a 50-year member of the Lions Club.
Yes.
And he was an exciting fellow. He was Mr. Music Man for all of Pleasanton. Yeah. And so I know that he's so happy that you've done it, and I thank you on his behalf.
Yeah, and I'll just mention that the Lions Club was there in full force on 4th of July selling hot dogs and sodas, $5. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. And they're also selling, just so viewers can see, they're selling plaques to help fund the next phase. Because there's a few things we definitely still want to do. We want to acquire the speakers so that we can keep the music going further, a little bit more projection down the linearness of the park. Bike stands, bike racks, we know about that. And someone has mentioned a bridge. We'll see if that happens. But the Lions Club is selling plaques to help get that part done. But Pleasanton's taking the win, following our rating as the second highest quality of life in the nation. So just a lot going on in Pleasanton. I just am so excited.
Yeah, I see you're very modest about that. Now, Pleasanton unveiled a new interactive digital map, and that's going to lead residents to more than 60 public art installations in the city. Can you give us a few words about that?
Yeah, so members of our Civic Arts Commission get a shout out from me for this amazing project. So what we've done is, we being them, I had no hand in this other than trying to ancillarily support them. But what they've done is they've mapped out almost 60 pieces of art that the city has in our community. And so you can use this interactive map. It's designed to be used with your handheld device or online on home. And it lets you go and read about the art piece and see a picture of it. And so it's really trying to connect people with what is that art piece? What does it mean? What is it supposed to symbolize? What is it supposed to invoke, right? Feelings and emotions. So, we understand that that's what art does, is it challenges us to think or be more broad. So it's part of our broader effort to promote the arts, the cultural activity, the community engagement, a little bit of civic pride in the arts that we have been able to, the art pieces we've been able to acquire and show and install. Let me just make sure I've got everything. Yeah, so it's you can take an interactive tour, a walk, and it will show you where you're at compared to the element. It's part of our GIS mapping system, which is part of what the city uses to map curbs, gutters, sewer lines, and stuff like that. It's really interesting. So I used it myself before the taping today to make sure I knew what I was talking about. And I was pleasantly surprised. It's got a lot of pieces that I didn't even know we had, little things hidden here and there. So everyone can check it out. It's at firehousearts.org/public art. And so they can go look at it there. And you can just Google the interactive public art map and it'll come right up. That's how I found it.
Well, that project is so Pleasanton. It has Pleasanton's name written all over it. And I'll bet you the rest of the Tri-Valley is very, very jealous. I know why. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back on this edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton in just a moment. Welcome back to this edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton. We are here talking with Mayor Jack Balch from the city of Pleasanton. Where else would you be from?
Well, it's nice to be from here.
I'd like to ask you to respond with regard to facilities and park rentals. And those people who want to have a picnic or a sporting event or go to a pool party this summer can reserve a spot. And what facilities might you suggest for them?
Yeah, so I've got a lot of information here, so I apologize. I'm going to need to read a little bit. But, we're always trying to make sure we have a facility for your needs. And it's difficult to obviously have the perfect facility for everyone for every need. But we are working very diligently to provide a variety of space for people to use. And, as we're kind of midsummer, if you will, and gosh, mid-year, it's a great opportunity for people to think about this. And we do book up pretty early or far in advance, so feel free. But so basically, Pleasanton has a lot of event venues, a lot of picnic areas, meeting rooms, and whatnot. Let me go through it a little bit. If you want a venue available, we've definitely got the Amador Rec Center, as people probably know, located at the Amador Valley Community Park. It's kind of behind the pool area, behind the Dolores Bankston Aquatic Center. We have the Veterans Memorial Building on Main Street, as people probably know about. That's one that's very well used. And then we have the main hall at our Pleasanton Senior Center. And those venues can accommodate around 100 to 300 guests, depending on which one.
That's a great senior center.
Yeah, the senior center. I've been to the senior center for fundraisers, for a wedding reception, for a Greek festival.
Well, you must have been there as somebody's guest because they won't let anybody in.
Yeah, I was married at my parents' home in the Sunol Fremont Hills, but yeah. So it's we repurpose these facilities for everyone in our community. Then we also just have, a meeting room. If you want a smaller kind of meeting room, we've got the Cultural Arts Building also at the Amador Park. That's kind of, if you're looking at the Dolores Bankston Aquatic Center, it's kind of off to the left. And then I should mention that we have those meeting room or breakout rooms at the Senior Center that you can use that are kind of on the right as you enter. And then don't forget the little gem of Pleasanton, I think, mostly because I took baby yoga there with my son when he was like 3. Our nature house that's up off of Cottinger Drive. And it's always kind of the one that's a little not thought of. But the nature house is tucked into McKinley Park, one of Pleasanton's first original parks, by the way. Picnic areas are spread throughout town that you can reserve, so they are reservable. I should mention that. Ken Mercer Sports Park has reservable sections. Amador Valley Community Park has reservable sections. And then Val Vista Community Park has a lot of reservable. And that, Val Vista is the one that's got a lot of the newer sports soccer fields there. So that's available for us. If you do want to have a pool party, you can arrange the Dolores Bankston Aquatic Center to have a section of time there. Clearly, we've got the Seahawks, an impressive group of individuals who are swimmers, and frankly, I think all Olympic bound. I mean, they are impressive. You can rent the Dolores Bankston Aquatic Center, and then don't forget we have both the Firehouse Arts Center that you can rent, or the Amador Theater at Amador High School. So we've got a lot of different facilities. So to get there and to see locations, you can visit the city's website, navigate to the rec department, and facility rentals is right there. You can then search for that. It's a breakdown. It'll have the fees, availability, and then who to contact to take the next steps.
Very briefly, I went to Castlemont High School in Oakland, and where we have our reunions is the Senior Center right here in Pleasanton. People from my class won't go anyplace else. So many of them live here anyway.
Well, and if I may, one of the things that I think is very interesting how society has changed is we want our seniors to interact with all generations, and we want our younger generations to interact with our senior generations or maybe more advanced generations. And I think that we've sometimes forgotten the value of that, but there's tremendous value in that. And, it brightens the life. And, one of the main challenges that I think our seniors have, and I'm kind of going off script, is isolation and trying to prevent isolation. So the Senior Center for the seniors is a community gathering spot. We provide the rides to be able to get there. So we're really trying to make sure isolation, loneliness, and type of depressions that can come from it, mental health, really are kept at bay. And having young kids around, yeah, I know they're loud. Boy, I got one. but it can brighten a whole day. So yeah.
That's a very, very positive thing. Can you tell us what Pleasanton is going to offer once again as the heat ramps up?
Yeah, so we're taping this with a heat wave projected in the future here. So just a continued reminder for our residents or any visitor, Pleasanton's Library and Pleasanton Senior Center are both our designated cooling centers. They're going to be able to have air conditioning, water, charging stations, and electricity going. They're both in an area of town near our core, so they don't typically have a power outage. I know power reliability has been a continued challenge that we're trying to address, energy reliability. But both will have all of those available to beat the heat. In addition, just a public service announcement to our viewers, stay hydrated, wear light and light-colored clothing, limit your outdoor activity during the hottest parts of the day. Do it in the morning or in the evening. And then again, kind of to this theme of loneliness, check on your neighbors, call someone, reach out, and just make sure they're doing fine and beating the heat this summer. So we've been pretty mild so far, so we haven't really had to activate it for after hours, but it's still there for us to pull up at any time.
Are there any other events you'd like to mention?
Yeah, so
I can't believe they might be, but please.
Rounding out a couple of events, the most exciting, or not the most, I shouldn't pick one winner, one belle of the ball, but
you're the mayor.
Yeah, well, National Night Out is near and dear to my heart, and the reason is because I think that we need to break down barriers between our public safety stereotypes and reality, and it connects so much. So National Night Out is going to be on Tuesday, August 6th. If you would like to sign up to have an event block party or a center where officers can stop by, public safety people can stop by, you need to sign up by July 31st. So that event is nationwide. It's really supposed to be promoting the communication between our public service officers and our community, break down barriers, make sure we understand and humanize what we're trying to do here. And then I'm really excited about it. I'll be out, as well as I hope all my other fellow council members, trying to attend as many parties as we can or stop by. It's always a question of quantity versus quality, so usually I hit about 10 to 15, and we'll see where we go this year. And then secondly, I do want to mention that people will start to see our pavement management program kick off. Now that our budget is adopted, it does have an element to maintain our roads and potholes will be repaired. So we're going to be resurfacing and doing the prep work mostly in July, and then we'll see at the end of August, September, a lot of the actual slurry sealing going in for all of that. It won't necessarily resurface all of the streets. I know people kind of wonder how we do it, but we use a really data-driven process to identify what streets. It's called the Pleasanton Pavement Management System, and that helps keep our overall index of roads pretty high. We're actually one of the highest in Alameda County, so we're really proud of that.
You should be proud also of your police department. You have a new police chief who's wonderful. You have people on that force who are also human beings. Many of them, have their own life.
Yes.
And they just can relate to crowds so nicely. I hope you'll send a fond thank you to them.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll just say for all of our emergency service personnel, right? We take time to thank them at certain times, but the reality is the 24/7 operations that these cause, that's an impact on a family if you're working a graveyard shift or whatnot. And so, trying to make sure we still remember that humanization of it. They're there to protect us, guardians. I'm really proud of both our police and fire departments in town. They've done just stepped up above and beyond. So, yeah. So look forward to National Night Out. They'll both be out, and again, register by July 31st on the City of Pleasanton's website.
Wow, we got a lot of comments today. Thank you for watching this edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton. Join us for the next episode of Mayor's Report right here on Tri-Valley TV. I'm Dr. Marshall Kamina, and I thank you for joining us.